because there's so many better football players out there than Sam Ehlinger. And then at USC, look, man, I can't make you fire Clay Helton. I thought that Clay Helton should have been fired after going 5-7 in 2018. They kept him on. He gets the one good win with the third-string quarterback against Utah. Turns out Utah ain't that good, right? They get beat in the Pac-12 championship, and then they get roasted in the Alamo Bowl by the same Texas team. So I can't make Mike Bone just decide to, bone Clay Helton the hell up out of there. And in this year, where, again, everybody wants USC to be good because they play in the largest television market in the country, and they are a blue blood. They have a history of being good. You want them to be like Pete Carroll. You want them to be like J.K. McKay and John McKay. You want to have your O.J. Simpson in the backfield, your Mike Garrett in the backfield, your Reggie Bush in the backfield. Clay Helton ought to be able to do that, especially in a place like USC, where you should be able to win all the kids in California. Instead, Mario Cristobal keeps coming down to California and take your goodies. So I'm with you on USC, except they got to pull a trigger. And what I come to find out is these dudes don't actually want to fire their friends. So Clay Helton got to do what Tom Herman did, which is remake your entire offense and defense if you want to, right? Fire the defense coordinator, bring in Todd Orlando, who was a retread from Texas, fine. Keep Graham Harrell. It ain't working. So, to Ron's joke, it's a fraternity. We following our fraternity around. We got to pay our dues. Zachary Purvis with another super chat. Most super chats we've had in a year. As a Buckeye fan, I love how much you report on our team. Want to know your thoughts about Stroud versus Miller versus the 5 stars coming in. Who is the future? Okay. CJ Stroud was a late bloomer from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Now that's real, Ron. And showed out at Elite 11, won Elite 11 MVP, gets a late offer from Ryan Day and takes it. This is after they'd already secured a commitment from Jack Miller coming out of Arizona. Difference between Jack Miller and CJ Stroud is Jack Miller played behind a trash offensive line. So anybody that's evaluating him has to evaluate him from that standpoint. That said, as a 5-star, he's not in the final composite. I'm going to go with CJ Stroud because I've seen him on tape and I've seen him move around, and he's basically what Justin Fields has become, right? He's that same sort of player. Jack Miller's going to have to show everybody that he's that dude, but one of those dudes is going to end up in transfer portal. I hope that answers your question. Let me see. The 5-star coming in. Oh, you're talking about Kyle McCord. He might not finish as a 5-star, but we'll see, right? I still need to see Kyle McCord at Columbus for me to make a really good evaluation on there, because if CJ Stroud wins the job next year, that means Kyle McCord is probably not going to have an opportunity to win it unless CJ Stroud decides to transfer or go into the draft, or Jack Miller, one of those two, right? You look at what Clemson is, and you look at what Ohio State is. I picked Alabama to win the national championship in January. I'm still with that. Do you like Clemson or Ohio State to win the national championship in 2020?
I don't know about Ohio State. I need to see Ohio State play a game before I can make any sort of.
It's Nebraska. What are you going to learn?
The college football nerds over there on their YouTube channel, real good. Go follow them, listen to them.
Daniel and Josh. Good.
They were speaking into my ear, and they say that if there's any team that was built to beat Ohio State, it was Nebraska. So I'm like, okay. I'm giving Nebraska a chance. But because first off, I've been thinking about Ohio State as you remember the movie The Running Man?
Oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, tight suits.
Yes.
Yeah, my man with the game show host.
Yeah. So the Big Ten is basically The Running Man. So you have Ohio State as the titular world's most famous man, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then a whole bunch of hey, yeah, I remember that guy. That's
in Carl Weathers in that movie.
Jim Brown. Jesse Ventura. Yeah, that's him.
The body is in that movie.
It's like Professor Tanaka. Yeah, go ahead. Exactly. But it's a whole bunch of Arnold Schwarzenegger just roll through them. Cool. Yeah, that's the Big Ten. So I believe Ohio State could win a national championship. They probably are better than anybody that they've been ranked on the AP polls. I would just like to see them play a game first, because everybody else is already been through 7 weeks of football. I just want to see them play a game first before I make any sort of predictions about, hey, will they win a championship? So anyway, I'm going to go with Clemson because Clemson has actually played the ball, and they are playing they're playing the type of football that is very much, yes, see us in the playoffs. All of this is perfunctory. Yes, the point differential is going to be 50. Don't even tune in. Just don't even tune in.
Yo, man.
Meet us there.
Yo, man, I got to say, OU had a bye week, so I'm watching it in like the first quarter. And Georgia Tech's feeling pretty good about themselves because they're moving to football, right? And they get 7 on the board. And I'm like, okay, Jackets. And then I look up and it's 52-7 at halftime. I said, damn. And the way that I try to put this one in perspective for most people is the punter's name at Clemson is Will Spears. So you can imagine when I see the dude with the 48 under center that I'm going, wait a second, did they just put the punter in at quarterback? They sure as hell did. And he went 2 of 3 for 13 yards, which means that the punter at Clemson threw for more yards than the entire Georgia Tech offense in the second half. Yeah, what Clemson is doing is already impressive, but it's even more impressive in the age of the COVID. Now, on the Ohio State thing, here's what I have to say to you. They returned Justin Fields. They returned perhaps cornerback 1 in the draft in Shaun Wade. They returned offensive guard 1, Wyatt Davis, in the draft this year, who is also the son of, I did not know this until I looked it up, Dwayne Davis. Do you know who Dwayne Davis is?
No, tell me.
Dwayne Davis is not only Featherstone in Necessary Roughness, saying, throw me the football, I'll catch it, but he is also Alvin Mack, looking across center, talking about, yes, I remember you. You stole my mama's purse. Look at me when I'm talking to you. That's his daddy. I was so excited when I heard that. That's his daddy. Because of course he made their offensive guard. Nasty, cheating, poking people in the eye offensive guard. Just that made me so happy to find out. So they got all those dudes, right? And then they got a bunch of dudes that you already know by name if you are in recruiting. And then they have perhaps the best collection of true freshman talent at wide receiver in the country. But they're not going to be able to put them on the field because Garrett Wilson is back. Chris Olave is back. They're going to be outstanding. They have Master Teague back there with Trey Sermon. Like, on paper, Josh Proctor, Owasso, stand up. On paper, they're the best team. Not just the best team like in 2020, but they are the most intact team from last year. You get what I'm saying? Like, most of the dudes that played in the Fiesta Bowl are coming back to play football this year. So, like, as much as I want to give everybody in the Big Ten a chance, how? How, Sway?
I would, especially because they all start playing at the same time. This is the question that I want to pose to you because I saw the polls released this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Was Ohio State with 0 games under its belt, no real out of conference games to sharpen themselves up. Out of the teams that we've been talking about for the past hour, who do you think they could show up to and beat completely cold? All of them right now.
Of the, like, playing in the playoff?
Yeah, I mean, let's say, I forget Clemson, but like Alabama, Georgia,
yeah.
Oklahoma State, SMU, BYU,
Ooh.
Notre Dame, just completely cold, showing up. Who could they beat?
Everybody but Alabama. Georgia ain't
Continue to think about that because I know one of the things that we talk about all the time is that you know what's a bad first game? BYU. Why is that? Because they're all 30. They've been lifting for 15 years. It's a bad first game to go out there and try to suss out what kind of offense or defense you got.
They got the most efficient quarterback in football right now too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and that's even man, what if they're good?
Yeah. Right. Right. For me, it's still just Alabama, because like Georgia doesn't have a quarterback. They can't score.